The following podcast contains strong language and alternative facts. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Heel Podcast. Over the airwaves and under the influence, we are Turning Heel.
Hello Internet and welcome to the Turning Heel Podcast, Japanese edition exclusive. It is me, it's the GR, the I, the Z, and as always, I am not joined by Chris motherfucking Hughes, oh my god, shock and horror, but today he's decided that he's going to try and break into like a brewery somewhere or something along those lines. I don't know what the fuck he does on his time off. But today I am joined by the master of Japanese pro wrestling. It is Robert, everyone.
I wouldn't say master, enthusiast. Does have a proper title.
Definitely the master of the three of us these days.
Anything to get you through lockdown.
I know, tell me about it. Lockdown. That was meant to happen before lockdown, and then it got cancelled.
You think it would have it in lockdown?
I know. just for the lockdown in lockdown.
Mm-hmm. And plus, you could social distance with a cage.
I know. Like, nobody else can get in. Okay, Roberto. So, we are here today to talk about 15 shows of New Japan. Well, 5 to be exact. We were going to cover day 2 to day 6 of the New Japan Cup. So that will essentially be the entire first round and the entire second round. And, well, in your case, all the other dribs and drabs in the middle.
Yeah. We started covering New Japan in our Backlash episode. So for the first 2 days, maybe look back into the archives and give that a wee listen at the start.
Yeah.
We cover New Japan for the first hour of that show.
Yeah.
They cover Together Project and day 1 of the New Japan Cup if you want to play catch up.
Yeah, and then hopefully in our next episode we can have, probably by the next episode I reckon we'll at least have the quarterfinals and semifinals, if not also the final.
Yes, we will have them done.
Yeah, if worst comes to worst, we can just do another one of these, and we'll just try and ease Chris out of the show, and it'll just be us the way it was meant to be.
Discussing New Japan all the time.
Oh man, see if you start watching. See if I can get you to watch Stardom or Tokyo Joshi Pro. Then this podcast will really take a turn.
Turn in Japanese.
Oh yeah. I mean, Stardom and Tokyo Joshi Pro have just started back up with brand new shows, so there's potential there. There's potential. And then, as I called you, the master of Japanese wrestling, I guess that might be the master of Joshi wrestling, aka I've watched Stardom for a year, which means I think I know everything.
Isn't that the case with all fans?
Mm-hmm.
I've watched 5 shows. I know everything now.
That's the thing that I can't stand about some fans. See when they go on about like, I've been watching pro wrestling for like 15 years and you've been watching it for 5. I think I know more than you. And it's like, but you don't though, because like, when people say that, it's like, I've been watching WWE for 15 years. Like, okay, well, I've been watching, Stardom, New Japan, fucking GCW, like, just to name a few, and it's like I go out and cast my net into the vast world of professional wrestling, and I have caught every kind of fish there is. That doesn't mean I know everything, though. Of course, that was kind of the roundabout way that I was wanting to get to.
Yeah, there's a difference with certain knowledge. With different things. Like, for example, you and me, if you tell us like a show, we could sort of rattle off where it was, matches, what was the main event and stuff, but then there's like a different knowledge to wrestling that other people get that we don't have.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like I kind of I like to pride myself more in remembering like really obscure things, like obscure gimmicks and shit. Which I think may be a fun episode one day if we just like all went out and found like 5 wrestlers and be like, do you remember this guy? And then we could sit talking about them for like a couple hours.
A couple hours, you're giving them a lot of credit. Some of them only lasted about 30 seconds.
Exactly, so you really need to stretch that out. Like, for example, and I'll give you this one for free, do you remember Sangriento?
Who?
From Impact?
Can you repeat the name?
Sangriento.
Sangri. Right, what era of Impact was this?
This was, I can tell you almost the exact time, because what Sangriento was Amazing Red under a mask during the time where WWE had just hired original Sin Cara.
Oh, God. So 2011?
Yeah, thereabouts. And so all of a sudden, this Sangriento started showing up on, well, in fact, it was TNA at the time. And they were like, he's the hottest free agent from Mexico. Like, to be like, look, we have a Mexican that's actually just Amazing Red.
I think he is Latin American, though. Amazing Red. I think he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, maybe. I've admittedly not like given that much thought, but yeah, you might be right now that I think about it. But yeah, that was like pretty much obviously TNA's answer to Sin Cara is just, I don't know, let's just stick a guy under a mask and say like he's famous.
Right, we've already started with a tangent.
Yep, so, well, I thought I'd get one of those out of the way.
Hopefully we've got our tangents out of the way now.
Yeah, because we have a lot to discuss, and probably not the vast amount of time to do it.
No.
So how are you wanting to do this? You were telling me off mic. Let's explain to the people.
What we were going to do was just get through the results, and then any matches that really stuck out to us, we would then talk about.
Cool, no worries.
So, Day 2 New Japan Cup, first round match, Gabriel Kidd versus Taiji Ishimori.
Yeah, like, for this match, like, Gabriel Kidd, I thought definitely showed his worth in this. There was, like, one part of my notes that I have, though, and like, I feel like you would appreciate it, was Gabriel Kidd's, like, picture on the Titantron really reminds me of that part in the IT crowd where they were all at a party for this new guy, and then then Douglas goes, "Wait, this has been a ruse," and then he rips the portrait off, and it's the IT crowd, and he's like, "This party is actually for the IT crowd because of all the work that they do and none of the credit." And then it cuts back later, and it's like, this ruse has also been a ruse, and then he rips off again. It's that guy again, but he's pulling this like. He's pulling this dumb face, and he's like, "No, he's actually from higher management, and he's been here to see what you're all up to."
I've not seen all of the IT crowd. I don't think I've seen that episode, but I will go and maybe look at it this weekend.
What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get like a screen cap of the guy in question, and then I'm going to put it next to his photo if that's floating around online, which I think it probably will be for promotional purposes, and I'm going to put the two of them next to each other and see how accurate I was.
Taiji Ishimori picked up the win over Gabriel Kidd, advancing into the second round. Is there anything else you want to say on the Gabriel Kidd Taiji Ishimori match?
Yeah, just the one with the kind of weird crossface maneuver, because it's just a wee bit more than just your standard crossface.
Next up, we had Yoshinobu Kanemaru versus Yuya Uemura, another young lion. Lion, I think, done really well in the first round.
I appreciate you taking that Yuya name because I was not sure how to pronounce that there.
This is why English commentary helps. And why it's been a pain in the arse that there's been a delay.
I know. I was about to say, like, I've watched this whole thing in Japanese just because let's just say I don't have access to the English commentary.
I'll maybe give you my login.
Ooh, Kenny Loggins.
No, the young lions in the tournament this year, Suji, Kid, and Umara done really well, I think. And I think this class of young lions are going to be great a few years down the line after they're back from excursion, if we're allowed excursion again.
That's a good call, actually. There was one thing I was going to actually ask. See, I think it's Taichi, like one of his seconds that he has in one of his later matches. Like, what's that guy's name?
Doki.
Doki? I wonder if that's the same person that was Great Okan over here.
Is that the guy that basically, you talk about the guy that wears like the bandana over him?
Yeah.
That's Doki.
Right. I'm going to need to like take a look because like during the sort of New Japan Rev Pro shows that they've done over here that I was at like a couple of years ago, they were like, oh, here's going to be this mystery guy, and then there was this guy called the Great Okan that came out, and it's like, but like normally like when wrestlers go on excursion, they do gimmicks that then they don't do when they come back to New Japan, so maybe they may be one and the same.
Maybe because Taichi did bring him into New Japan, and I know there's a history between the two. From another Japanese promotion, I can't remember what one. But I think, no, it wasn't Japanese, sorry, it was, I think, Doki was an excursion in Mexico, I think. And Taichi picked him up there.
Right. So, is it D-O-K-I?
D-O-U-K-I.
D-O-U-K-I. Right. Well, we'll move on from that just now, and I'll have a wee gander.
I can't remember if I said it or not, so I'll just say it again just in case. Yoshinobu Kinemaru defeated Yuya Umura, advancing into the second round.
I do love his diving DDT. It's very nice.
Oh, Kinemaru, it's great.
I guess I'm kind of ripping Kinemaru a wee bit there.
Oh, with your whiskey, with your bourbon.
Yeah, drinking fucking whiskey at 10 to 11 in the morning. Hardcore.
Hardcore indeed. Then we had an 8-man tag with Roppongi 3K, Shonyo, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi defeating Shingo Takagi, Evil, Bushi, and Sanada. Next up, we have Yuji Nagata versus Minoru Suzuki. And this match reminded me a lot of why I really enjoyed New Japan, my first show.
100%.
So, I think it was the first English broadcast that they done, Wrestle Kingdom 9. And they had a never title match with Makabe and Ishii. And I just thought this was the best thing I've ever seen. Just these two guys just knocking utter shit out each other.
Oh man, like it was just like the way that like they just keep standing there and just throwing fucking like forearms after forearms, and it's just like fucking hell, man. Like I know this is all a bit staged or whatever the fuck you want to call it, but Strong Style is still fucking absolutely lethal.
Mm-hmm. The two of them were basically just trying to knock each other on their arse, and it felt like the two of them were both trying to get a win by knockout.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't go about with that. Like, see some of the shots that they do. Sometimes, like you would think, like, oh man, that guy's legit knocked out. Like, why not just end the match there? And sometimes I think like an actual technical knockout might be like a really cool way to advance a story.
Well, they have done it, but not with knockout, but they have done ref stoppages.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would maybe count.
But like, if you got like a big bruiser or something like that, I don't know, even if it was like somebody from America that you really wanted to push, maybe that could be like a gimmick to kind of set him apart from everything else. Is have his matches like always end in like a knockout. Because he's knocked out the opponent to the point where the ref's like, stop that.
Well, this was, so far, this is my second favourite match of the tournament.
Ooh, second?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd definitely say it's very much up there for me. So
This was absolutely fantastic.
I mean, like, it's pretty much like, I mean, Yuji Nagata, like, when you kind of look at him on the kind of, the way he looks, he's a much older gentleman, but he can still fucking go with the best of them, man.
He's not that old.
Is it not?
He's ages with Suzuki.
Wow.
He's early 50s.
I wouldn't have thought that just looking at him. Like, 'cause I mean, look at Minoru. Like, you can tell that he's kind of old, but he still seems like, I don't know. He just seems a lot more still together, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
He looks like the sort of guy who every sentence would begin with, "I've seen some shit."
And I believe him.
Yeah. Yuji Nagata picks up the win. I feel sort of bad saying it was I know what I'm trying to say, but I can't think of the word. An upset victory.
Yeah. Well, it was just the way that the end of the match happened. So, like, they spent most of the match, like, beating the shit out of each other in this slow, methodical kind of back and forth, punch for punch, chop for chop, fucking sometimes, I'm pretty sure there was a kick for kick, like, kind of back and forth. And then, like, it just sprung from this slow, like, the two of them punching each other in the face thing to a million miles an hour, duck a clothesline, bang, like, back suplex pin. And so it was just like, whoa, did somebody just, like, hit fast forward in this fucking match?
It was. I don't know if I'm feeling the way I'm feeling about it because Suzuki is currently one of their biggest stars.
Yeah.
And historically Nagata was, but hasn't been as prominently featured in like the last 5 years.
Yeah, Nagata's normally on the lower half of the card in these rando 8 and 10 man tag matches where he doesn't need to do very much.
I think this whole the travel ban with people flying into Japan says a lot for this tournament with views and possibly their booking.
Yeah, I would say so. I also do agree. Like, I was actually like shocked when Nagata won, and I thought he did come out of nowhere. Like, not saying it was a bad decision because I mean, as I say, the finish to this match was pretty fucking badass. Just the way that he just went from 0 to 100 and then over, and it was like that was very nicely done.
The whole match was just absolute badass.
Oh yeah. Definitely, like, if there was a top three, this is definitely good. This is definitely there. Well, I mean, right now, and that's without the quarters, semis, or the final, like, being there yet.
As standing, yeah. This so far at the matches, I do have a top three, and this is number 2.
Nice.
Main event of day 2: Gedo versus Kazuchika Okada, with Okada picking up the win. This match did not have to be the length that it was.
Is it Jado?
Gedo.
Am I getting the two of them mixed up again?
Yeah. Or maybe I did say Jado, I don't know, but I'll say it again. Gedo versus Kazuchika Okada, with Okada winning. This match almost went 15 minutes, if not longer. It did not need to be that length.
No, and I mean, the fact that you know what, I'm just going to continue to say Jado because he's all over my notes. So one of us will be right. That we could just work with that. Like the fact that like they had to go out of the way to make like Jado or Gedo a fucking, you know, a threat in this match by just having him like, oh look, here's the spray. Oh, it got knocked out of my hand. Here's the sling. Oh, that got thing.
They've already done though.
Yeah.
He's already done the whole, oh my arms hurt, I can't wrestle. They've done that last year.
Yeah, so he's just kind of rehashing it, and that's why Okada like kind of knew what was coming right away.
That was wise. Right, so day 2 done. We'll move on to 3. where we
Yeah,
start.
that match does not need any more chatter. Sorry, take that one again.
Day 3, we start off with an 8-man tag. We have Yuji Nagata, Yota Tsuji, Yuya Uemura, and Gabriel Kidd versus Minoru Suzuki, El Desperado, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Doki, with the Suzuki-gun team picking up the win. Nothing really to this match except Nagata and Suzuki going hell for leather again.
Hell yeah.
Then
That's
we
all
have
I'm kind of looking for from these people.
Then we have our first round match of the day with Sanada defeating Ryosuke Taguchi.
I hate Taguchi.
He's fun.
He's shit. He annoys me.
He,
Like,
how can fun annoy you?
because he's just not fun. Like, he's just, like, all he does is like he's not his own wrestler. He just fucking copies like other people, and like he's still doing that whole and pretending to be Shinsuke Nakamura shtick that he was doing back when I used to watch New Japan prominently.
Yeah, and it's good. He's basically wrestling's version of the Pokemon Ditto.
Ugh,
It's fun,
I'm not fun.
and he does use the Shinsuke pose, but then turns it into his own. So it's almost like a, here we miss you, come back. We know you love surfing, but come back.
And Shin's like, no, I'm getting paid so much money to do much less.
Yeah. Then next up we had Sho versus Shingo Takagi.
Well, here we go. This is another match that we need to do a deep dive.
This has so far been my favourite match of the tournament.
Yeah, definitely. And like the fact that like when you were telling us when we covered night one about the kind of story going in, because I would have just went in and I would have definitely enjoyed this match just on the level of this was a very good in-ring match, but the fact that you giving us that little bit of story going into it made it like that much better. Like it was like when you told me like this is a one match tournament for Sho, and it doesn't matter if he doesn't get any further as long as he can get past Shingo, and like you could just tell from the way that Sho wrestled in this match that he really wanted it. And I think like this whole tournament like for Sho is definitely like a star making moment. Like he looked incredible here, and I would not be surprised if they go back to this match again for the Never title.
Well, they will be, because history sort of determines that if you beat a champion in any sort of match, whether it's a tag, a tournament, New Japan Cup, G1, you will get a title shot further down the line.
Yeah, and hell, like they need to pad out the minion card, so why not just go for it?
But with Shingo though, he has two. He's an ever open weight champion, and he's 1/3 of the
six men
never open championships. But we'll get there further. We'll get there in a couple of days through the notes, because there's a wee bit there as well to discuss. Or should we discuss it now?
If you want to bring it up now, since
Sho picked up the win after going for the shock arrow many times.
Yeah.
Many times. It was absolutely adamant he was going for it.
He could have had two variations of it to win.
Yeah. Shingo basically asked him in a promo, what belt do you want?
Ooh.
And he never really answered.
Yeah.
And then Shingo went, well, do you know what? You're not worthy of either.
Wow.
So this rivalry is, I think it's going to be
It's going to be on two levels.
No, it's going to be one of these rivalries I think is going to go on for many years.
Mm.
And each match is just going to get more and more and more personal.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
I'm absolutely here for it.
Yeah, hell yeah. If this is the kind of match that these two are bringing on, essentially on the ground floor of their feud, like it's only going to go up from here. and especially like if you start to get belts intertwined and stuff like that. Is Shingo still considered a junior heavyweight, or is he?
He is in that awkward phase where he's
Trying to be a heavyweight, but not.
well. The thing is, right? I wouldn't ever have considered him a junior.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Show, I don't consider him a junior either.
Yeah. Well,
It's-
these days, because I mean, like, considering the fact that, like, again, like, this is me just kind of getting back into New Japan properly, but like, kind of one of the last times I seen Show, other than maybe Wrestle Kingdom, and even then that was fucking 6 months ago, so I don't exactly remember that too much. But like, the last time I properly watched like New Japan, I remember Show being, half the man literally than he is now. He's packed on so much fucking like muscle, and he's completely like Show and Yo, to be honest, like, not to discredit Yo at all, but like the two of them have completely changed what they're like as wrestlers, and I think it like goes to show the amount of dedication the two of them have put through to start to become this like more than just junior tag champions, even though they are junior tag champions. But it seems like they definitely have their eyes on more gold in different divisions. And I've always been a massive fan of Roppongi 3K, so like absolutely, like if they want to go for more belts, I'm totally there behind them.
yeah, Show's body changed a lot towards the end of last year because New Japan done a bodybuilding competition.
Really?
Yes.
Was it sponsored by Ico Pro?
No.
So it wasn't the World Bodybuilding Federation.
No, I think it was just a one-off. But I can't remember who won, but I know that Show done very well.
Oh, wow.
Show picks up the win, and that is the first time he's able to beat Shingo in any of their matches in the past.
Yeah. Did
Whether
you
it's
say
tag or
this isn't any promotion thing?
Yep, any promotion, tags or singles, this is the first time he's been able to pin Shingo.
Oh man, you felt the emotion as well when he won.
Roppongi 3K defeated Shingo and Bushi for the junior tag titles last year.
Uh-huh.
But they pinned Bushi, they did not pin Shingo.
See, that's a nice wee tidbit, a wee bit of bonus information there. That's why we pay you the big bucks.
But all those zeros on that check, and it's nothing but zeros.
Just you wait till we get a Patreon, and all this goes behind the Patreon wall.
I'm surprised I've not got the government grant. 80%, bro.
Any money I'll accept, even if you just want to throw a couple of shekels at me. Like, if you don't like me, just throw pennies at me, I'll take them.
I'll accept iron brew bottles.
Oh, you can't even trade those in anymore.
I'll find a way.
Like, there's only like one kind of like glass bottle you can trade in. I think it's like bars or something like that, but I think you need to have them specifically like what's the word, like delivered to you or something these days.
Oh, so that then you recycle them, you get money off for recycling.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Next up, we had Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kota Ibushi. They've fought many times, but this was not one of their best. Zack dominated the match like 95%, with him getting the win with the Kamigoye. Then we had Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Taichi, with Taichi picking up the upset win.
Oh my god. Like, I've always
Shenanigans before, during, even after the match.
Yeah. I've always been quite a big Taichi fan for some reason, like even back in the days when he was like, the resident New Japan jobber, and I don't think I've ever like shaken the fact that like he is no longer that person. And so like when Taichi pinned fucking Hiroshi Tanahashi, I about lost my fucking shit. And I know he's held belts and shit since then, like again during my away time, which very much sucks because like as I say, I for some reason like I really loved Taichi when I first seen him, and to miss like the point where he started winning like never openweight titles and stuff like that. Like I'm actually kind of gutted I missed that, but this one was quite special. Just watching him actually flat out pin Tanahashi and Taichi, best theme song in New Japan. Fight me.
I will see your Taichi theme song with Minoru Suzuki's.
Well, original version. I don't really like the new version as much.
Or his anniversary version.
Yeah.
Right.
The,
I'm going to ask you a wee question here, and I want to know what you think. Do you
on.
think that the age of the ace is over?
Yes. I feel like unless this is going to be like the kind of the way that Okada was a couple of years ago, where he lost the belt and then kind of, he lost everything about him, pretty much his identity when he dyed his hair red and stopped wearing the awesome robes and started wrestling with a t-shirt and coming out with balloons and all that, and he wasn't the same Okada. And I feel like if they want to do this same kind of story, but with Tanahashi, who's obviously significantly older, like maybe it might be a good way to have him kind of like, maybe have one more title run before he does like start to tone it down like significantly. Because I mean, he's tag champion right now, and when he walked out with that tag belt, it was like, wow, Tanahashi is a tag champion. I never would have thought I would have seen that.
Yeah, it's a really weird situation, because since I started watching New Japan in 2015, he's been at the top.
Exactly. Yeah. He's always been like the person that I associate with the IWGP title and big like main event matches in the Dome, and it is weird seeing him come out with a tag title, and that be like his kind of spot, and especially again like saying all that to then go on and say that he lost to Taichi is very, very odd.
I would say the equivalent for me would be seeing Okada winning the Never belt.
Yeah.
For me, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship for me is so associated with Okada. The last 5 years, he's probably held it for almost 2 years at one point. He set the record for the most defenses.
800 and odd days, wasn't it?
I think that's completely combined in all of his reigns, but that was a 2-year reign. He set the record for defenses of the title in a single reign.
Yeah, because wasn't it like the match he defended against Tanahashi I think it might have been their Dome match where Okada won. I think that was the record, and if he beat Tanahashi, he would have broken Tanahashi's record, and so there was a lot more than just the belt on the line for that match, because Tanahashi wanted to retain his record essentially.
Move on to day 4 now.
Yep.
Opening rounds, first round match. Bushi defeats Yo. It was okay.
This was another pretty fun match.
It was alright. I've not really got much to say on it. It was good for what it was, but Yo kind of annoyed me.
Oh, what?
Selling, then not selling, then not selling the leg.
Yeah.
His leg took a lot of damage during the match, but then he's running about doing fucking top rope jumpies and flip-de-doodas, and
yeah,
it just kind of bugged me.
Yeah. I actually can't say I noticed that, to be honest, but maybe that's just my my bias for Roppongi. The one part of this match that did annoy me is the fact that Bushi wrestled practically the whole match with his shirt on.
He does that. That's his look.
That just really annoys me.
It's like Naito wrestles in a t-shirt when it's not a singles match.
Yeah.
But Bushi's look as he wears a t-shirt. I think he'll take his top off for the Dome, but that's it.
Well, in his next match, he wrestles without his shirt on, which is
Did he? I never
yeah.
really noticed. I just think I'm so used to seeing him in a t-shirt.
Well, like I know that's like one of those things that just really annoys me. Like, I mean, like it's like okay, you might. I mean, this doesn't even go for Bushy. This just kind of goes for anybody. Like, right, you're a wrestler. It doesn't matter what you look like. See, as long as you wrestle well, then I don't care what your fucking bod looks like. I mean, hell, like you might look at like someone like, for example, Trevor Murdoch in fucking NWA right now. He's probably the biggest that he's ever been. He still wrestles without his shirt on, and you know what? He pulls out good fucking matches. Surprisingly, I'm talking about Trevor Murdoch in good matches in 2020.
I think it's more of a confidence thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just he can't be bothered. I don't know.
But it's that kind of thing I'm saying. It's like, yeah, sure, like just be confident in your wrestling, and then like let that get you through. Like, it's the kind of way of like, oh, if people want to judge you by the way that you look when you come out the curtain, like, well, prove them wrong by wrestling a hell of a fucking match. Be like, yeah, see, look, I can be tubby and sexy, to use the Jack Black term.
Then we had Yoshihashi defeating Hiroyoshi Tenzan. This was okay. It's the best that Yoshihashi's looked in years.
Yeah, I would say that this is quite an interesting run for Yoshihashi, because both matches that he's kind of came into this and I was like, well, I don't mind Yoshihashi, but like I wasn't really expecting very much from him, and then he's pulled out some pretty good performances so far.
I feel the same way about Yoshihashi as what I do Hiroki Goto. It's just I don't care.
Yeah.
The booking has gave me no reason to care. So it's just kind of like, all right, okay. I actually had Tenzan winning this one, but I thought the dad have done really well. I think, say with the time off. I think it's really done them favours.
Oh, absolutely. I reckon like probably they've probably got into some of the best shape that they've probably been in years, because they've had like a couple of months off to like heal properly from like nagging injuries that they've probably had for years.
Yeah, because the English commentary said that Yoshihashi's been dealing with a shoulder injury for the last year. This is like the first time in like over a year where he's been 100%.
Yeah. See, like this one noble concept some time off takes.
Yeah, I did notice at the end of this match, where he's sort of doing his victory stuff, he had a big lump on his shoulder, like round about his collarbone.
Alright.
I was looking at the other side, I was like, maybe his collarbones are just shaped weird. But no, it's only on the right sides.
Interesting.
It's quite a prominent lump.
Maybe we should get that checked, bro.
We then move on to another 8-man tag, which I want to spend a wee bit of time on as well. With Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, Toru Yano, and Sho versus Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, Shingo, and Hiromu Takahashi. Hiromu came out for this match absolutely terrified. To the point where he was the first one to come out, and he's actually on all fours on the stage, basically all in like the fetal position at how scared he is of Toru Yano, because back in 2011 or 12, before he went for excursion to Ring of Honor, Yano was a bit of a bastard to him.
Oh yeah, wasn't he, like Yano used to be like a pretty massive heel back in the day, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like a pretty devious heel.
He basically treated Takahashi like he was Suzuki. Knocked utter shit out of him, and shaved his head, like shaved chunks of his hair.
So that explains the hair clippers.
Yes. So the story of Hiromu and Yano in this match leads into their match the following day. in their tournament match. We also had a preview of Sanada versus Shoji on this match, which was really fun. And also Shingo got to fight Sho again.
Yeah.
Which I just love. Anytime they're in a match together.
Yes, sign me up.
The match ended in a double count out.
Huh.
A very rare double count out in New Japan.
Yeah.
Yano chased Takahashi out onto the concourse of Corkin Hall with the referee count on his way up to 20. Then Okada comes running down, starts shouting at Yano, going, he's counting, run! And there was some tape involved. There was the taping of feet again. Really big fan of. So,
I know, Yano really has his go-to stuff these days.
We'll continue more about Hiromu and Yano a wee bit later.
Yeah, I may go back and watch this match. Like, as I probably mentioned before, like I did skip the tag matches, and clearly when it comes to this one, I miss something special.
I think, say with the tag matches with this tournament, a lot of it does lead into
like next day matches.
The next matches, or it's a follow up from the matches. It's a bit like the tag matches at the beginning of G1 before they get G1 matches, where a lot of them lead into the next match.
Yeah, they put them they put like most of the matches for the next day into tag matches, so you get like a little bit of a taste of what's to come.
Yeah. Then we have Hiroki Goto defeating Yujiro Takahashi. This one, I thought he was going to win because Yujiro's not really a threat.
No, he really
I think this has actually been his longest singles match that he's had in years.
Probably because, other than like that short period where he was never champion, like yonks ago, I can't really think of Yujiro actually being in singles matches other than, like being in tournaments and stuff like this. And
he's the new Bone Soldier. Even though I know that's Ishimori's thing, he's the new new and improved Bone Soldier. But to me, Yujiro reminds me of the old one now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is like when you say Bone Soldier, you mean Captain New Japan as a heel?
Yes.
God, I never liked Captain New Japan, and then even turning him heel and making him a fucking member of Bullet Club didn't even fucking help that.
But the thing is, the idea of Captain New Japan, it's a fun concept. It just needed some tweaks.
Like, the thing is, like, I'm all for like a comedy character, but it's just like the whole thing of like he's Captain New Japan. He's the captain that's representing your fucking company, and he's the biggest jobber to ever job.
Yeah, that's the joke.
I don't know though. Like I don't like it.
And then, when he turns heel, nothing's changed except his attitude.
Yeah, and his fucking mask.
That's the joke.
Well, I guess if that's meant to be the joke about it, like, I clearly that was a joke that went over my head, evidently, but it's just like...
He's supposed to be like Mr. New Japan, and all he does is lose.
Yeah.
Then we have Evil defeating Satoshi Kojima. Again, Kojima, this is the best he's looked in a while, wrestling-wise.
Yeah, another dad.
That's the lockdown has been absolutely fantastic for the dads.
Absolutely.
Like, Makabe's taking more bumps now than he did before. Tenzan looked great. Kojima. Honma was even... That match with Takahashi on day one was great.
Oh, yeah. I know, like... I'm quite liking this, and I wonder if, like, any combination of the dads might go for the Never Six Men at some point, because that would be quite interesting.
I think, say with the break, they needed this. This is what everybody's been asking for when they want like folk were wanting off seasons for wrestling because there's no time off.
Yeah, totally. Because like obviously stuff like this, you're getting like the best out of some people. Now with just a couple of months off, like I can't remember if it was maybe New Japan back in the day, but there was like a promotion that kind of had like, like a rolling roster where you would have like some people for periods of the year, then they would go away for a while, and then other people would come in to replace them for that kind of time period. I definitely think that might be something that they should look at doing again.
Almost like a furlough type thing.
Kind of like just like right. So like say Kojima, Minoru, and like Nagata, for example, like those three specifically, they'll wrestle for like the first like half of the year, and then like they'll take time off, and then like Honma and the likes, like they'll come in for like the second half of the year. So like that gives them like 6 months off to heal up, and then when they're ready to come in, they should be almost at 100% again. And then the people that have been wrestling for the past 6 months, they get like 6 months off, and then like maybe you could even just do something where like they bring them all in for Wrestle Kingdom or something like that, and then after Wrestle Kingdom is when the new 6 months will start, and then the people that have been working for the past 6 months take time off again, and the other ones that were off like come back. So that way everybody gets like like the Wrestle Kingdom payday.
Yeah.
In the Battle Royal.
They've stopped doing that now and went with the Never Gauntlet now.
Nah, they should bring that back.
I like the New Japan Rumble.
Yeah. I know, like, it's a lot of fun, and I feel like the Gauntlet, like, it's not that impressive considering the fact that, like, there's literally just, like, faction members. It's like, well, okay, they're in the same faction, but I don't see them as a team exactly.
I think it all depends on you getting the right trio within the faction.
Yeah.
Like, for example, for me, a trio within Chaos would be Roppongi 3K and Rocky Romero.
Yeah. But, like, and then sometimes you
some factions, it just works no matter who you put in.
Yeah.
Suzuki Gun,
mm-hmm.
That works.
Yeah.
Club, you need a sort of specific three, the same with Chaos, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, there's been like Bullet Club representatives that have been in that match. It's like, that's who you put in.
Yeah, like a team of like Fale, Yujiro, and Chase Owens.
Yeah, and it's like
the only thing they have in common is that they're on the same.
They're in the same faction.
They're in the same faction.
Yeah, but like that's just nothing.
Like when they had like the sort of splinter faction within Bullet Club, when they had the Elite with the Bucks and Omega.
Yeah.
I think that's what Chaos and Bullet Club need again. But that's what caused the split in Bullet Club was the Elite.
Yeah. I mean, I just read the headline, but I did see something like a couple of days ago, Bad Luck Fale saying, oh, having the Elite come into Bullet Club was the worst thing for the faction. And it's like, well, you're not wrong, but, like, they needed fucking star power in that fucking faction because, like, most of you were fucking boring without it.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
I mean, it was doing okay, but the Elite really helped with Bullet Club. Really helped Bullet Club.
Yeah, I would say that they definitely did. Like, that was the one thing, was always having a very prominent like Gaijin kind of at the helm of Bullet Club always really helped. But then it just kind of got to the point where, all that kind of infighting brought more focus on the Elite side of the Bullet Club as opposed to the Bullet Club as a whole. And then it's like, but then like the way that like Bad Luck Fale's like, oh yeah, the Elite was the worst thing that happened to Bullet Club. It's like, that's because none of you have any fucking personality.
Yeah. When you say it like that, aye.
Because like I can't remember. I think it was last year, probably during that the WrestleMania weekend where they had the Ring of Honor New Japan show, and they were like, oh man, it's going to be the Bullet Club like fucking car park party or whatever the fuck you might call those things.
The tailgate.
Yeah, that one. And it's like, you can meet fucking Tama Tonga, Tonga Roa, and fucking Bad Luck Valley. I'm like, ooh, sign me up for anything else.
No, I think Tamatonga is probably the one with the most personality currently in the faction.
I mean, again, I don't think that's really saying much, though.
Like, to me, he should have been the leader after the split of Bullet Club.
I mean, is there a technical leader right now?
Yes, Jay White.
Oh god, I forgot about him already.
Switchblade is the current leader, with I think Kenta being second in command.
Where is Kenta? I miss Kenta.
Kenta's at home.
Oh, good. Look after yourself, bud.
Kenta is at home. I think he still lives in America.
Oh, okay. So that would make sense as to why he's not here.
But God, America, Osprey, London.
Yep. Fighting his wife.
G America. A lot. I'm surprised they haven't actually been called in for these young lion shows.
Yeah. Which
in every Friday they'll air shows each Friday from these tapings.
Yeah, this massive bulk taping that they've done. Do you know how long these shows are going to be? They don't seem to be very long.
I think they'll maybe be an hour and a half tops.
Yeah, because like I've seen like the kind of the match listings for the first one, and there was only 2 matches. Maybe it might.
I think
maybe like an hour.
They're just trying to get content out after not having. I mean, they were still putting out content during the lockdown, but it was interviews and press conferences, and I think this is just to try and get the ring rust off some guys.
Aye, definitely. Plus, these American shows, they have potential, and the fact that, like, you know, someone like TJP who's working under Impact is allowed to be on these shows is quite interesting. But as we've kind of seen with the announcement that Anderson and Gallows are meant to be going to Impact, but they're still allowed to work New Japan, I guess that's kind of like the new deal that like Impact sort of have with the roster. Is like you can go other places.
Impact's not really a contender anymore because they haven't been a contender for a while. So I think what they're doing now is treating it like a really advanced indie.
Yeah. Yeah, an indie on television.
Yes, it's like Ring of Honor. That's essentially an indie on television.
you know.
Yeah. An indie owned by a television company.
Yeah, that's probably the exact words to use there. I wouldn't be surprised if like Impact try and weasel their way back into a pseudo relationship with New Japan and be like, oh, you know, for the Tokyo Dome we can send over fucking Moose if you want.
No, but if you say with the current roster that they have, that I would not be opposed to the idea.
Yeah, I mean,
I would love to see like a match between like Ishii and Mac.
Give me Eddie Edwards versus Toru Yano.
Oh, was that a Noah match?
Well,
a match.
It might have been, but I'm thinking now with the current gimmick that Eddie Edwards has of like, I'm crazy, I talk to my kendo stick. This is Kenny, my kendo stick. Against Yano and his antics, like that could be quite gold. Or even Crazy Steve against Yano. Crazy Steve.
That's so crazy. He needs 2 Zs.
Crazy Steve. And then fucking put Ace Austin against fucking anybody.
Oh, he's just great.
Ace Austin against Hiromu. Yes, please.
Right, we'll start now talking about the second round.
Let's.
Of the tournament. Day 5 of the New Japan Cup. We open with Taiji Ishimori defeating Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And another wee match with some story with, again, this is the first time Ishimori's been able to defeat Kanemaru anywhere.
On the face of the earth.
And according to Kevin Kelly, it's well known that Ishimori couldn't beat Kanemaru. So this match probably would have been better in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
Who know the story.
Well, like it showed though from the actions of Kanemaru, the fact that he jumped Ishimori to start this match, like during Ishimori's entrance. So just to get that jump like on him, and it just seemed to not really phase Taiji Ishimori. One thing I would bring up is something that's been through my notes quite a lot, but since we're kind of just speaking about things in a bubble, how many matches involved throwing people into the guardrail?
A lot.
A lot.
I don't think there's been very many matches where they haven't utilised the guardrail or the outside. Very little matches have stayed in ring.
And the other kind of discussion is like, I mean, I assume there probably is DQs, but they're very, very, very lenient on that sort of aspect. But like, do you remember the last time there was actually a DQ in New Japan?
Well, there was almost one in a tag match in that Shenanigans 8-man with all the hair clippers and the spray bottle of sanitizer and everything else.
Yeah, because it's just in the way that like sometimes like some of the wrestlers go out their way to distract their ref and then hit somebody with a chair, and then sometimes it's just like, I'm just gonna pick up this chair, just gonna hit them, and then the ref just comes out and starts shouting at them, and then they're like, all right, I'll put the chair down, and then they'll pick up again like 2 seconds later and just hit somebody again and just be like, no, all right, I'll put it down, I promise.
The last DQ I remember happening in New Japan was during the 2018 G1 Climax with Fale. Basically, Fale lost by disqualification almost every match.
Yeah, he went out of his way to get DQ'd.
Out of his way to fuck the G1 and ruin it. At the time, they were known as the Firing Squads.
Mm-hmm.
Interfering in every match blatantly. It wasn't as if they were trying to be sneaky about it. They were just out to ruin the tournament. But I think...
See, it's an interesting story, though.
When it comes to DQs, I think if there is outside interference and it's blatant, that's when the referee says, right, this isn't fair. You're out. Yeah.
It's because, just as I say, sometimes the way that, like, they try to be like, oh, ref, look over here, right, sneak attack. But then sometimes it's just a case of, like, I think like you kind of hit the nail on the head there. Like, outside interference seems to be very much frowned upon, but if it's one person in the match, say using like a chair or something like that, they kind of turn their nose up at it a little bit. But
it's almost as if the outside is sort of like it's a safe place for them to do all this shit, and it doesn't count. It's like, if it doesn't happen in the ring, it doesn't count.
Yeah. Seems it.
Cheers. Because the minute the chair comes into the ring, the referee's very quick to remove it.
Oh, yeah. I think we hit the nail on the head with that one. Definitely. Because, it does seem as if, like, things are a lot more lenient on the outside. Like, I mean, like, other than, like, the refs doing the 20 count to get them back in the ring, he doesn't really seem to care about what happens exactly.
Yeah. We then move on to Tomohiro Ishii defeating Togi Makabe.
Too big.
Which basically made me love New Japan 5 years ago.
Yep.
It's very similar to that match. Hard.
To use the big E quote of 2 meaty men slapping meat.
Yes, men slapping meat. Ishii won with the vertical drop brainbuster, which I did notice this time. Does look like a suplex.
Yeah. There are times where it does look a lot like a brainbuster, and sometimes it just looks like a vertical suplex. You're like, wait, that was it? But then you hear the commentators going, "That's a brainbuster!" And it's like, okay, that was a brainbuster.
I think it all depends on who he's wrestling. I think it's like a Scott Steiner case.
Huh?
Whereas if he likes you, he'll do it in a way where it won't hurt as much. But if he doesn't, he will then attempt to fuck.
Yeah. But this was good shit. More of this, please.
We then go on a 6-man tag with Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Ryusuke Taguchi, Taichi, Zack Sabre Jr. and Doki. Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. then attacked Kota Ibushi and Hiroshi Tanahashi after the match.
Okay.
And holding up the tag titles. Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. are definitely wanting those belts. Their team is known as Dangerous Techers. Do you know that, Griz? That they're a team within Suzuki-gun.
So what is a techer?
I think it's short for technical.
Or technicians, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those lines.
Although I wouldn't exactly say that Taichi's the most technical wrestler on the planet.
Well, I'd say he's the dangerous part of it.
Okay. No, that makes more sense.
He's got his iron glove now. Iron glove.
Iron finger.
That was bestowed upon him during his retirement.
Yes. Yeah, because I actually kind of miss him. I mean, I know he wasn't the best. He was hilarious. Yeah, I know he wasn't the best in the world, but just any time that fucking theme music hit and you're like, oh, where is he? And he's just fucking stoating about the crowd.
The thing is, you never seen him at first. You just seen a mass amount of people bolting.
Yeah, and then he would just like kind of like surface from that.
It was great. I loved this guy. He wasn't the best in-ring worker, but fuck was he entertaining.
I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been like John Pollock and his buds, obviously one of them being Chris Charlton, as we were kind of talking about earlier, and how great he is. Or maybe it was Dave Meltzer, whoever it was. They were talking about how like back in the day, like he was just a wrestler, and apparently he wasn't very good at it. So like probably the absolute best thing for him was to get a stupid gimmick like that. That meant they had to do a lot less, but always, was on the card and was entertaining doing it. And it's just like, considering that I only ever seen him doing that gimmick, like I could only imagine what he would have been like just as a serious wrestler.
Oh, I couldn't imagine it. I really couldn't.
I think this might be a deep dive for a future episode. Let's watch some old stuff where everyone has different gimmicks and shit.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, maybe like first we could do like watch the first Wrestle Kingdom before Wrestle Kingdom.
Or I was going to say I have the first Wrestle Kingdom.
Nice. Well, that's a future watch party.
Someone I would like to see their earlier stuff of to get a more knowledge of this is Toru Yano.
Yeah.
We've got Toru Yano versus Hiromu Takahashi.
Yeah,
this match was shit. This was a shit match, but fuck did I love it. This is my third favourite match so far of the tournament.
Because one of my notes literally says usual Yano hijinks, but then like it just completely like broke down into like people taping each other together, and then just the end of the match where Hiromu like pretty much hog ties Yano, and then like puts tape around his eyes so he can't see it and throws him in the lift, and then it's like this mad dash of like the three-legged man trying to run to get in the ring before the 20 count, and then like the young lions trying to jump in, and that's like putting Hiromu like off balance, and he's like no come back out, and then it's like the 18 count, and then the two of them are standing there like 1, 2, 3, go, and then the two of them dive in at the same time just before the 20 count, and then Yano's not even on the same fucking floor to get back in.
Essentially, he's not even in the same building because the bottom floor of that building is a restaurant.
Well, there you go.
To me, this was the Avengers Endgame of Yano shenanigans.
Wow.
Like, there was clippers, there was scissors. When Hiromu went for the sunset flip powerbomb to the outside, Yano went into his tights. He had nothing there. But it's the implication of it.
But he just threatened. Yeah. Yeah, because, like, that's the thing. At the start of the match, like, Yano came out with hair clippers, and then Hiromu managed to get them off him. But then he was like, these don't fucking work. They were ruse clippers. And then Yano builds a second pair. He's like, but these ones work.
And then the scissors planted all over the hall, with them being in the gaps in the bleachers, under the table that held the New Japan Cup. Oh, this was everything for me. I absolutely loved this.
I know, like
even Hiromu's wee New Japan safety helmet.
Yes. Oh, I love that as well. Like, because again, like, see, like, now that you're telling us that this was a thing from fucking years ago, it just adds so much more to the match. But just watching this match on the surface, this was fucking great. Like, if this was like your first time watching New Japan, you still were able to enjoy this like wholeheartedly and not be like too out of the know. Like, because I mean, like, the thing is, like, if you just watch it on the base level of just like, I mean, look, Hiromu has awesome fucking luscious long locks and his fucking red hair dye, like, and what's one thing Yano can do is threaten to cut your hair, like, but if you didn't know any of that like back stuff and you were just watching this like just as this match, like, it still made sense as well.
But at the same time, it probably wouldn't, because you'd be thinking to yourself, why is he so scared of Yano? Yano's not done anything yet. Like, at the start of the tag match the day before.
Yeah, I know, but like, I feel like anybody who prides himself on their hair, like, much like I do, obviously, anybody threatens to cut my hair, I would be a bit shit scared of them.
But the thing is, he didn't threaten it. He done it. He took a chunk out of his head.
Yeah, I suppose. Oh.
This, to me, right, I've not seen much of DDT, but this was the most DDT New Japan match I've ever seen.
Yeah, there is a show that they done recently. I think it's called like Money in the Sack or something like that, and it's like a street show. So it's just a bunch of wrestlers like wrestling around an arena for like 2 hours, and it just looks fucking bonkers. Like, it's something I'm really needing to get into, and I think like maybe try and see if I can get it done for like the next episode, and I could like talk about it while it's still somewhat relevant.
If you can find it and send me a link, I would like to maybe give that a wee watch as well.
Yeah, maybe we could do a deep dive on it. Because DDT does do some very interesting stuff that I would love to go back and watch, but I just feel like I need to get a bit more familiar with some of the wrestlers. I know a handful of them, like I know Ladybeard.
See, I knew none of them. The only one I knew was Kenny Omega and like the 8-year-old girl.
Yeah, and then there's Kota Ibushi wrestling that blow up doll.
The blow up doll. I'm pretty sure one of them wrestled a pencil at one point.
And when a ladder, a cat, and a dog all became hardcore champion.
Did a steel chair not win it as well at one point?
Probably, yeah. And then I think they also had a match where like a table wrestled a ladder.
That just boggles the minds.
Yeah. Which is why DDT is probably the greatest promotion that I don't understand why I don't follow on a constant basis.
Then the main event at day 5, we have Kazuchika Okada defeating Yuji Nagata. One of Nagata's best outings in recent years. Wouldn't say it was as good as the match with Suzuki in the first round.
No, but
But
still.
this was your stereotypical Okada match.
Yeah, Okada
Okada-
definitely has like everything down to like a formula these days.
Mhm. The only thing that's really changed since we've came back is Okada's been winning with what they're calling a Cobra Clutch, which isn't a Cobra Clutch.
Okay, so what is it then?
It's a, it's like a, it's as like it's like a Cobra Clutch. It's like a Cobra Clutch, but it's not a Cobra Clutch.
Yeah, because like he's
To
like
me,
kind of on the side of the wrestler as opposed to
it's
the
more
Cobra.
like it's more like an Anaconda Vice,
Yeah, actually, yeah.
which I think is setting up for another Okada Sanada final. Having this new submission that he's been winning with up against Skull End.
Was that not the submission that he?
He used to use a move called Red Ink, and that's not it.
Right, because I'm pretty sure like did he not bring this move in specifically for Wrestle Kingdom? I seem to remember that like Okada like made up like a new move essentially to counteract someone. I think it might have been Naito or yeah, because Naito was the first match with Okada.
No, when this year.
Wrestle Kingdom.
No, he fought Ibushi first on night one.
Oh, am I getting the two of them mixed up?
Anyway, defending the Intercontinental title against Naito,
Right.
and
Yeah.
Okada was defending the World Heavyweight title against Ibushi because he won last year's G1.
There you go. That's the one. Jesus, it's fucking 6 months ago at this point. Like I'm losing my bearings. But
2-day Wrestle Kingdom just did not suit me this year.
I mean, I enjoyed both nights, but there definitely was like a lot of fluff on the occasion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that they brought up the submission during that period of time. Like he brought it in specifically to counteract somebody, and I'm pretty sure it was Naito at that point. Like if I'm wrong, and anyone that's listening is there looking at their phone saying, "God, you're a fucking chode." Like I can't believe you don't remember this. Like feel free to get in touch with us and provide me with info. That's the only way I learn is by people telling me what's real and what's not.
And then we have the night 2 of the second round, the final night, round 2. We open with Yoshihashi defeating Bushi.
Bushi without a t-shirt.
Bushi without a t-shirt that I didn't even notice.
I love Bushi's DDT on the apron.
Yeah.
That he does. Do you know that's the hardest part of the ring?
I thought it was the softest.
No, you've been mistaken there, bud.
Oh, all these years have been a lie.
Sorry to tell you, man. I hate to break it to you. But it's the way that like he like sets up for it and then he does like the big jump before he does it, and it's like just like he gets so much height from it. I mean, because like you could just drop, but like he does the big swing and like really like put some welly into it.
It's the same when he goes for the MX. He gets some serious height and fall into the code breaker.
Yeah. Also, I do appreciate the fact that you know the actual names of the finisher moves, because I'm just literally writing down the name of the move, and sometimes it's even the case of like, for example, in my notes for the first Yoshihashi match, I just wrote Yoshihashi goes for the fold. You know, the move that Ace Austin does in Impact, because that's the only name I know for that move.
That's the running blockbuster, isn't it?
Yeah.
He calls it the Headhunter.
Well, there you go. Again, this is why you're getting paid these big bucks. The illustrious podcast money.
We then go on to Sanada versus Sho, which was absolutely amazing. This tournament is doing nothing but favours for Sho. He's been phenomenal.
I think, yeah, since we were talking about like top threes, this is definitely in there for me. As an actual match, like obviously we kind of gushed over that Yano Hiromu match, and it absolutely deserves it. But at the same time, like if you want to take that one out and have that in its own category of that was a great comedy match, like so we can slot this one into this has been one of the top 3 matches of the entire tournament so far, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think if I was taking the matches, if I was to take the Hiromu Yano match seriously, it wouldn't make my top 3. This would be this is currently 4. But
Big Forsky.
I could easily see this after watching the two of them again. These are interchangeable, those 2 matches for me.
Yeah.
For completely different reasons. Everyone's been saying for years now how Sanada's going to be a star and he's a future world champion, but I think Sho really showed him up.
Puns.
During this match, I can see Sho superseding Sanada in a few years.
Yeah, easily, because I feel like the fact that you brought all that up is really interesting, because I feel like it kind of goes to show how long they've been kind of sitting on Sanada and not pulled the trigger, and I feel like that has done nothing but like what's the opposite benefit?
Detract.
Yes, that one. I feel like it has taken a lot away from Sanada, where like like he's had however many shots at the belt and has lost them all. It's almost like Sanada's almost kind of become the new Goto in a way.
It's weird the way that they book. It's like they book 4 years in advance. Like when Naito first fought Okada at Wrestle Kingdom, everyone thought, "Oh, this is Naito's time. This is Naito's time." Then he loses.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, he wins both belts at Wrestle Kingdom.
In 2 nights.
In 2 nights.
I mean, because like
they're very much into long-term booking.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes I don't feel as if that's beneficial, because like as we kind of
too long.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes you need to strike while the iron's hot, and I mean, the fact that Okada's had like 5, 6 title reigns and has pretty much dominated the heavyweight division for ever since like he kind of returned from excursion, essentially. Like Okada's been at the tippy top, and it's like, you know what, like excellent, like you've really made like a star out of like one of arguably the greatest wrestlers that's going today. But at the same time, like, but you've made that one guy. Now you've finally made Naito, I would say, but that has taken a lot of time. And I feel like Naito could have been made years ago. But I mean, like, Naito could have been made years ago when he beat Okada for the IWGP title. Then he held that belt for a month, and then Okada won it back. And Okada started to get very John Cena, Roman Reigns for a while. And it's just like, it was like that kind of thing where it's like, I actually said at one point, it's like, see, Okada, see if you weren't so goddamn entertaining and like so much fun to watch as a pro wrestler, I would probably detest you right now.
Yeah, the fact that he is such a great wrestler does help with his thrusted down your throat mentality that they have with him.
Uh-huh.
But with Naito, that was a very long, very, very long story that went back to him winning the G1 the first time.
Ah, yes. I think that might have been the first Wrestle Kingdom I watched, was the one where he challenged for the belt and it wasn't main evented.
Because then that put him on a story where he absolutely despised the IC belt.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he did win it, he basically wrecked it.
Yeah, that's why he just kept throwing it all the time.
But then the IC title sort of became his destino because it got him into the World Heavyweight title match this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a great story.
He was using it as a stepping stone, essentially.
And it wasn't really a stepping stone. It was what he needed to get. Well, it was a stepping stone, but I think he now has a lot more respect for the belt.
Yeah, totally. Like he was using it at
That was
first,
about,
and
that was almost a 4-year story.
yeah,
In fact, 6-year story.
yeah. I was gonna say it was definitely more than 4, easily.
6 years.
Because I mean, that Wrestle Kingdom, Prince Devitt was still in New Japan during that
Yeah,
time.
that was his last Wrestle Kingdom. That was when he debuted the body paint
Yeah,
for Ibushi.
and Loki. I think it was a triple threat.
Or was that a triple threat? I thought it was just 1-on-1.
Yeah, because pretty sure Loki came out, and that was when he debuted the Hitman gear that he now. Well, I don't know if he still does it, but he done that for a long period afterwards.
I think he does it occasionally, but it doesn't suit him. It just looks like a wee boy in his dad's suit.
I quite like it, to be honest. Like, I mean, like, because Loki is a very much no nonsense kind of wrestler, so seeing him like cosplay as fucking Hitman's actually quite interesting to me.
I think, see if he done what Naito does, where he wears it down to the ring and then takes it off.
Or maybe if he just
The
wore it for serious matches, you know, the Hitman gear is essentially the demon or the fiend for Loki.
Oh, nah, I don't. It's a cool look for an entrance, but not for a match, not for wrestling.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that always scared the hell out of me was the fact that like Loki wore a tie that was about as fucking long as Bianca Belair's hair.
Oh, and it could trap or get
Yeah.
caught.
Always gives me the fucking heaves, which I think was also the reason why it was so long, is so that, you know, if it got like stuck on the rope or something like that when he goes for a dive, you know, he would have that leeway. But I think like my whole argument would be is just maybe don't wear a tie when you wrestle.
It was the same way IRS when he wore the tie and in the early 90s.
Yeah, fucking love IRS.
Right, so Sanada advances into the quarterfinals.
Mhm.
Then have a 6-man tag with Tomohiro Ishii, Toru Yano, and Yota Tsuji versus Hiromu Takahashi, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito, with Hiromu, Shingo, and Naito picking up the win, pinning Tsuji. Nothing really much to talk about. A wee bit more shenanigans, but Shingo really had Takahashi's back
Mm-hmm.
with Naito this time, so he had honours.
Honors.
We then have Taichi defeating Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, another fucking absolutely baffling win for me. Because as we kind of mentioned on the first episode, I kind of had someone like Shingo down to like get to the final, and obviously, my boy from Roppongi like fucking busted my bracket like right away. So I think now I'm going to put all my money behind Taichi.
I near enough threw my fucking notepad out the window when Sho beat Shingo. So Taichi has now defeated both tag champs in singles matches, which to me says that at Dominion, Dangerous Techers are going to fight the Golden Aces for the tag.
Hell yeah. I'm down for that. Like, see the amount of capital letters that are in my kind of notes for this match. Just like because again, as I say, like I've not followed New Japan in a while, so when fucking Taichi broke out the Iron Finger, I was like, oh my god, Iron Finger! Oh, brilliant. And then, like, yeah, so like my last note is Taichi plays Kota and Taichi wins again. Holy balls! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Because like, as I said before, like this is not Taichi. He's not like, I remember Taichi as a jobber that like fucking didn't fucking win anything, and now he's just beaten like former multi-time IWGP champion and fucking hell, come on, Tanahashi, and he's also beaten fucking Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, he's the last year he's really upped his game. Dominion last year, I think he lost the Never Belt to Goto, but he won it from Michael Elgin in a 3-way.
Yeah.
With Goto. No, Cobb, Jeff Cobb, Michael Elgin, and Taichi, I think it was.
Nice. That's a good combo.
No, he's really upped his game, and I think with Archer leaving New Japan, that sort of moved Tai Chi up the rankings within Suzuki-gun and also the card in general.
Well, just mentioning Archer for some reason reminds me of the fact that John Moxley technically works for New Japan. Do you think like Mox actually still has that US title like in his house, and it's just like?
Well, the weird thing with the US belt is I think they were trying to use it to help with their tours when they do come over to when they do go over to America. But because of Moxley's contract with AEW, he's not allowed to do those US shows,
which is bonkers.
So having him be the US champion is sort of it's null and void. Yeah, it's nonsensical because you can't have your US champion on your US tour because he's contracted with AEW.
See if they allowed Moxley to come out with that belt on AEW, like.
Well, Jericho done it in the Dome with the AEW belt.
Yeah, and even put that as a stipulation where like, oh, if you beat me, you'll get a future AEW title shot.
Well, that's basically what they were implying in that match. Jericho was saying, if you can beat me, you will open the forbidden door.
Yes. And then sadly that door was slammed shut in her face, but
they done that themselves. That wasn't New Japan booking.
Yeah.
Jericho and Tanahashi done that off their own backs to try and put more interest into the match.
And to be honest, it fucking got me hooked anyway.
Yeah, because you want to see AEW and New Japan work together. Because the Ring of Honor partnership for me just isn't working.
No, and like everyone who was someone in Ring of Honor is pretty much gone now, except Dalton Castle, who's literally been held together by fucking super glue and fucking blue tack.
Super glue, blue tack, and Joe Hendry, because they've been teaming up in Ring of Honor.
Yes, I keep forgetting he's even in Ring of Honor.
Main event, we basically have the Japanese version of John Cena versus Randy Orton, Evil versus Goto again. With Evil picking up the win and advancing.
So, I do love his STO.
He's good, but it's like, to me, Evil and Goto, they're very much the Dolph Zigglers of New Japan. They're the gatekeepers. They're the ones that if someone new comes in, they're usually like, their first big program.
Yeah, like that's a great way to look at it in terms of like Goto, Evil, and then as we mentioned earlier, Sanada. They're all definitely the Dolph Zigglers of, they're good to build up to lose.
I would put Sanada above Evil and Goto though.
Yeah, but probably not by
Sanada's
much.
On their level.
Mm.
Sanada's more of an elevated gatekeeper in a way.
Yeah.
Where it's like if you're going to go for the belt, beat Sanada on your way. And that'll boost you right up because he has so much stock within the company.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, this wasn't a bad match, but I mean, as you're kind of alluding to, like the fact that they've had these kind of matches so many times. Pretty sure I've seen a good handful of them, even just as a sort of casual New Japan watcher. I don't mind Evil, but like I still just can't really buy him being like a very top contender. And I know like he's obviously wrestled for the belt like many times and all that, but I just still don't see it that much.
He does well in these tournament environments. He does really well in the G1. I think his point average since he came back after Excursion has been, I think on average he usually gets about 12 points. Roughly a tournament in the G1.
I mean that is a good win-loss ratio, I must admit.
Like he does well. He seems to do really well in these tournament environments. It's very rare that like he'll get put out first round.
Yeah, and plus
or in the case of the G1, he'll lose more than 3 matches.
And then plus he is engaged to Io Shirai, so.
He's a winner in life.
Yeah, he's a fucking champion in my book, I'll tell you that much.
So the tournament now, looking forward, seems to be mostly between LIJ and Chaos.
So do you have the brackets for the quarterfinals?
I should, if you just give me a wee second.
Okay, I'll vamp. So as we're recording this, technically, day 7 is actually out, so we could.
Day 8 is, in fact, I think it's day 9. Day 9 is currently happening as we speak.
Would it not be day 8? Day 7 was released 18 hours ago, so would it not be day 8?
Day 9 is currently on New Japan, is running live right now.
What the fuck's day 8 then? Oh well. Yeah, so let's see. So day 7 would be the quarterfinals, which means day 8 would be the semifinals, which means day 9 would be the final. So I don't know exactly when we're going to be back. Probably maybe later on this week. Hopefully we can try and record before AEW and NXT happen.
I beg your pudding, day 8's on just now.
Ah, there you go.
Semis that are happening right now, and the finals happen next week with Dominion the next day.
Right, so that makes a shit ton more sense. Okay, so day 8's happening right now. So we've got 7 and 8. That'll lead us through the semi-finals. If we can get back to recording before AEW and NXT happen this week, we can try and cover these two nights, or at least the the matches that matter, because that's kind of how I'm looking at this tournament. Is I'm just covering the matches that matter, which means tag matches are kind of out the window for me right now. But
oh, sorry guys, that was me just getting back into my chair.
Sorry, my computer just completely crapped out for a second there. I was very fucking worried.
Right, okay, I've got the bracket now for the quarterfinals.
Okay, so bearing in mind, like right now, for anyone listening that's probably already watched day 7, we have not seen day 7 yet, and so we're going at this completely blind. So this will be our opinions that may already be bracket busted.
We have Hiromu Takahashi facing Tomohiro Ishii.
Ooh, Ishii for me.
Sadly, I have to agree. I want Hiromu I would love to see Hiromu in the finals.
Absolutely.
The semis. But
that's going to be a good match.
He's already defeated 2 heavyweights into this match, and as a junior, maybe 3's kind of pushing it, especially someone of the Ishii.
Yeah, so someone brutish like Ishii.
So we've both got Ishii for that one.
Yep.
We then have Taiji Ishimori versus Kazuchika Okada.
I would love for Ishimori to fucking pull off a fast one.
Oh, we all would.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm sick of Okada, but I would like to see a change.
Yeah, I think see that, cause see the thing is that kind of Okada thing I alluded to earlier of when he lost the belt, like he still never really lost that many matches. It's not like when he lost the belt he went on a losing streak exactly. He
kind of did. The G1, he lost that year. He lost a few.
But did he still not get to close to the final though?
Yeah.
Was that not the match where it was him and Tanahashi, and it was like the winner of this match will advance to the final, and then
drew.
Yeah, and then they both drew, which meant Goto goes to the final.
I think that was the year that Tanahashi won.
Was that
one? I think that was 2000, and that was 2000. No, wait. No, you're right. No, you're right, because that was the year that Tanahashi won and beat Ibushi in the finals. because that was the first year they were going to be in Budokan for a long time, and Okada was told he wasn't allowed to bring his balloons, and he was
yeah. And he was like, well, what am I without my balloons?
What am I without my balloons? Yes.
If I don't have my balloons, what else do I have? Okay, so, I mean, as much as we don't want to say it, Okada's winning this.
Yeah, I would put my money on it. We then have Taichi versus Sanada.
I think Taichi's winning.
I think they're going to use this as sort of a redemption story for last year's New Japan Cup.
Now
looking into it with the way that Okada's been winning his matches, because last year the finals was Okada versus Sanada with Okada.
Oh, so you're thinking
they're going to do the same final but switch the result
and have Sanada win?
And have Sanada win, yeah.
Interesting.
Because Taichi, he's beat both tag champions, and they've made it clear that they're going for the tag belts.
Yeah, they've set up his story at this point.
Set up his story now for his match for Dominion. Then we have Yoshihashi versus Evil. I should have really said that the first three matches that we discussed, they're all first-time singles matches. They're all matches for us.
That is going to be interesting.
Evil Yoshihashi, they've fought twice in singles matches,
and
they're at one apiece.
Ooh, so this is kind of the deal breaker.
Yep.
I'm thinking Evil for this one.
So do you think that the semi-finals on the right side of the bracket is going to be Evil versus Sanada?
Yes.
Oh, you picked Taichi, sorry.
Well, you made a good point with the Sanada thing, so I'm kind of backing you with that, although I am still, like, wanting in my heart Taichi to win, so...
Essentially, Taichi's Japanese Miz.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I loved him when nobody else did, and now he's became prominent, and I'm literally sitting at the front of the bandwagon saying, what took you so fucking long?
Well, you wouldn't be the first one on the bandwagon. I think Miho would have been there before you.
She's sitting up next to me. Let's just say some of the videos that she produces are so flustered I can't even think of actual words to describe it.
So going by what our picks, we're then saying for the left side of the bracket, the semis will be Ishii versus Okada.
I am all down for that. I remember the match they had in G1 a couple of years ago where fucking Ishii soundly beat Okada, and it was probably the hardest I marked out for the result of the match in a long ass time.
And then on the right side we'll have, again, Sanada versus Evil.
Yeah.
So to me, it does very much look like an Okada-Sanada final.
See, because you brought up again that tidbit of how last year the two of them met in the final, and it seems to be going that way again. Like, I think I'm kind of behind you on that one. Unless they really want to throw a curveball and have one of them go out to make it, you know, like just kind of like, oh, we'll make the fans think that we're going to get the same final as last year, and then bang, like fucking Ishii just fucking beats Okada again.
That's if Ishii even makes it to Okada. Yeah. Because a lot of fans, myself included, we are wanting Hiromu to win. We want that Hiromu Naito match that we didn't get because the anniversary show was cancelled.
Yes, that is interesting.
And this will be, unless he's involved in the G1 in October, which he's got no chance of winning, and I love Hiromu. He's got no chance of winning the G1 this year.
No.
This is his only opportunity to get that one-on-one title match with Naito.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that we could kind of pray for is the fact that, like, maybe if he does end up in the G1, he'll at least just be in the same block and we'll get that match. But it won't be for the belt, obviously. it would just be a tournament match.
And also, Romo's not fought any juniors during this tournament, so there's no clear contender for him to defend the title at Dominion.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like...
I mean, out of the rest of the juniors, I'd probably say Yo, because he's progressed, or Ishimori even, because Ishimori's progressed as well to the same point.
I mean, is Hiromu the only junior?
Probably the best shout.
Who, sorry?
Ishimori.
Yeah, I would say so.
They've both made it to the same point in the way that we've sort of bracketed ourselves out, as both are losing to the heavyweights to the same point within the tournament.
And they're the last two juniors that are in this tournament, aren't they?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, why not? Like, plus, fucking, that would be a hell of a... In fact, that would be a return match from Wrestle Kingdom. No, it won't. No, it won't. That's a lie.
You made me think there, because I was like, no, Hiromu beat Kushida a few years ago to win the title.
I'm in this year's Wrestle Kingdom, and then I realised no, because fucking Time Bomb hadn't even fucking returned yet.
No, he did. He came back for Wrestle Kingdom this year and beat Ospreay.
I am getting my fucking Wrestle Kingdoms all kinds of mixed up here.
He came back and beat Ospreay in night one, and then was in the opening tag match for Liger's retirement.
That's what it was. Then who did Ishimori wrestle for the junior title at Wrestle Kingdom?
He wrestled, I think it was Kushida, because he came back and Tamatonga brought him in as the new Bone Soldier, and then he was sort of on a tear within the juniors, and Kushida that year, and then Kushida left, I want to say. I think that was when Kushida left. It was after he lost to Ishimori.
That's it, because you had fucking...
It wasn't this year's Wrestle Kingdom, it was last year's, I think. Yeah, last year's.
Because that was the year of creepy kid in a Kushida mask.
Yes.
Okay, so we're thinking... well, technically, I feel like we're kind of wanting what sounds like Hiromu versus maybe Taichi in the final, but I don't think that's what we're going to get.
You're wanting?
Yeah, so you're wanting Hiromu against...
The way it's looking, Hiromu and Sanada.
Yeah.
In the final with Hiromu beating Sanada, but I can't... But if he beats all these heavyweights, then he really should just be dropping the belt and moving up to the heavyweight division.
Which I don't think is a bad shout. And I was actually about to ask you that a few minutes ago. Is like when you were kind of saying about Hiromu being in the G1. Obviously he would need to be a heavyweight to do that. So
not necessarily. Will Ospreay was in it last year as the junior heavyweight champion.
Oh, okay. Well, that kind of throws that opinion like slightly out the window, but at the same time, at least that means like, you know, there's potential that he can do it. But yeah. I do like the idea though of Hiromu losing the belt to someone like maybe even if it is Ishimori, then moving up. No, actually, because I kind of like Ishimori also being in the tournament. And to be honest, you probably are going to need people like Ishimori to maybe be in the G1 if this social distancing thing is still going to be a thing. You might not have your entire roster, so you might need to rely on guys like that.
Yeah, you'll have 10 people in each bracket, and there was at the beginning of the tournament there was 32 people.
Yeah.
12 of these. So if we're going to work with the roster that we currently have, 12 of those aren't making it to G1.
Yeah. I mean, like, maybe by the time, because G1 isn't for another, like, 2 months?
3.
3 months. Okay, so there may be more of a chance that you'll get some of your other heavy hitters, like Jay White, back by then.
If everyone does what they're meant to do, yes, we'll get them back. But after all this nonsense in the world, I've really lost a lot of faith in humanity.
Tell me about it. How many times have we been willing to just like fucking end it all just because like 2020 has been literally the worst year?
Oh, if 2020 was a person, it would be Hitler.
Yeah. Like Hitler, like covered in like fucking spiders.
But at least we have another good week of wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, you were kind of saying like before we came on that you didn't watch AEW or NXT yet.
No, I'm going to save that until next week, where I can watch them as if they're one show.
Yeah, well, you've got well, if you're going to do that, then you're going to have a good fucking chunk of wrestling. And I mean good.
8 hours.
Yeah, but I mean like that's going to be a good 8 hours, because both Fighter Fest and the first night of Great American Bash were fucking awesome.
I did see that on one of the Bash banners that they covered up the WWE Scratch logo with an NXT banner.
That's right.
Poking out the bottom.
Yeah, it was just like NXT, and it's like clearly they just went to the warehouse and just ripped all these banners out, and it's like, right, okay, just
I think as well use them.
Yeah, totally. Well, that has been all the coverage of New Japan so far. That's the first and second rounds. We will be back at some point, even if it's just to cover days 7 and 8. Anticipation, like we can just do that, and we can do that whole thing on our own. If Chris doesn't want to be involved, we'll look into that closer at the time. But
he's not very. He said himself he's not very knowledgeable and just sort of sits back when we discuss New Japan.
Yeah, so that's why we kind of went in on our own on this one, and I'd say it was very successful, if I do say so myself.
We'll see what all those millions and millions of downloads pour in.
I know. We could just be like, Chris, sorry, it's clearly you.
I know. We've got a working formula now.
Yep, you could just be the backstage producer.
Now you can be the guy that we shout at for teas and coffees.
Yeah.
T-boy!
T-boy! Well, I don't really know how to end this episode now, because obviously I'm waiting for someone to shout ho.
Oh!
See! Oh god, that's gotta boil his fucking blood.
Remember, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Heel Podcast. And also, don't forget, you can hear our archives on the World Wide Web at heelpodcast.co.uk. Well, that's all, folks. So long. Have a good day.